This is a video I should have made so long ago. Undertale. A top 10 countdown of my favorite tracks. Hey, what's the good word, friends? It's Totter here, making my yearly YouTube appearance to talk about whatever the hell happens to be on my mind. And it's Undertale. A game that came out 4 years ago that everyone who's anyone knows everything about. But whatever, I'm gonna make a video about it anyway because I love this game. And the characters, and the Temmies, and the charm, and the Napstablook, and the Temmies, and the puzzles, determination, and more Temmies! And above all else, the music. The music is some of the best I've ever heard in any game. Ever. I've always firmly held the belief that a huge part of what makes a gaming masterpiece is an unforgettable soundtrack. And if we were to go through a list of some of my favorite games, it would be one of the first things that I mention. Tracks that can paint a musical picture of the settings or emotions is such an important part of the gaming experience, and Undertale excels at it. Each track this game offers amplifies the emotional response super well, and sends you into a level of immersion that other titles could only hope to come close to. If it's a happy, upbeat scene, then it's gonna lift your spirits. If it's a sad scene, then you're gonna f***ing cry and like it. And if it's mischievous and comedic, well, to be perfectly honest, you're probably gonna laugh a little bit. Trust me. The gameplay and the music complement each other like peanut butter and jelly, baby. But I need to stop talking. Let's get to the meat of the video. Here are my top 10 favorite tracks of Undertale. Okay, I'm gonna ease you into this countdown with one of the most calming melodies in the game. One I have a hard time leaving behind in favor of, playing the game. So our protag takes a tumble down Mount Ebbet, runs into murder-crazed Flowey, meets Toriel who yeets him away and guides you through the ruins back to her humble abode. When you walk through the front door, your ears are greeted with this cozy, comforting guitar melody that just washes your cares away. Makes you forget about the fact you just fell down a giant mountain and have no hope of ever seeing your friends or family again, am I right? But it all feels somehow okay in this moment, as your new mother Toriel has you all set up with a room, freshly baked butts pie, and a place to ultimately call home. And if the original track wasn't enough, if you take a nap in your new room, a music box version of this track plays just to make it that much cozier. Okay, I'm calling it. Goat Mama's right, this is my home and I'm not leaving. 20-minute game, 10 out of 10. Spider Dance will make you dance like you got spiders in your pants! This 8-bit finger tapper comes to life when you face off against Muffet. And while it's possible to skip this boss fight entirely, why would you? You'd be missing out on an absolute jam. One you can tap your foot to while munching on a spider donut, sipping on some spider cider, and running away from her pet cupcake spider thingy. The musical energy boost you need to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge your way through Muffet's Spider Brigade. Hey, it's like Patches O'Houlihan once said, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a spider, or something like that. All inaccurate movie quotes aside, Spider Dance is an amazing piece of retro ear candy, perfectly suited for its boss fight. And back to calm again. Undertale, among all its high-energy, nostalgic, sometimes emotional tracks, possesses a few softer pieces that help add atmosphere to, atmosphere. Snowy is played during your trek through Snowden Forest after you meet Sans and Papyrus, and while I'm all for these types of tranquil tunes, Snowy is on here for a different reason. Any of you heartless monsters ever played through the genocide route? Of course you have. We all have. Remember what happens when you trigger genocide route in the ruins? The music stops and goes to near silence as you slay the last monster in that area. All that lingers is a single maddening low-tone rumble representing fear and isolation. During the genocide route, when you get to Snowden Forest, what you get is the same snowy track but pitched way down. and almost every track from here on out is given the same treatment. This is the first track you hear altered in such a way, and it's powerful stuff. This track continues to play dull, low, and lifeless as you continue to murder everyone on your way to Snowdin. And as I type this, I know I'm gonna have to play through this to get my footage, and it's giving me the willies already. Roaming around the underground killing anything and everything already felt shitty and regrettable enough. But you don't know regret until you come across Undying the Undying. Right as you're about to claim your next victim, a poor, quivering yet brave child, Undying swoops in and takes the hit. Barely alive, she musters up every ounce of determination she's got, goes Super Saiyan or whatever, and once that intro starts playing, it's on. Battle Against a True Hero starts off with a grand, legendary-sounding piano melody before launching into this fast-paced, heart-racing pulse pounder complete with a really hard boss fight. I tried forever to get through Undying the first time through, and I think part of what made it so difficult is I had this track racing through my head as I tried to dodge spear after spear after spear. But boss music should be like that, and believe me, Battle Against a True Hero pulls no punches. The track that shares the namesake of the game it graces, Undertale's floaty guitar intro begins as you enter the final area before your showdown with King Asgore. What starts as a simple yet beautiful 4-bar melody, over time is accompanied by a piano lead, backed up by strings and soft hi-hats, all accumulating into this triumphant, resolute piece of music that signals the near end of your journey. As you wander down the halls, you're greeted by all the monsters that you've encountered as they tell you the story of Asgore and Toriel's son, Asriel, and the cruel fate he suffered at the hands of the humans. It's a pretty tragic tale and one that fills in, well, most of the rest of the story. It perfectly sets the stage for what's to come, as now each combatant's objective is pretty clear. One must take the other's soul to cross the barrier. No more mercy, no more spare, it's kill or be killed. And as the track closes out and the monsters leave you with their final hopes of one day being free, you pass through the castle entrance to face off against King Goat Dad himself. This was such a big part of the story, and thankfully, it was accompanied by one of Undertale's best tracks. Undertale does so many things well. It can charm you with its cast of characters and its art style, it can swing your emotions with its captivating story, and it also can sometimes bewilder you and make you laugh as a result, or frustrate the hell out of you, but we'll get to that in a bit. And Dog Song is the track you'll most likely hear when these scenes come up. One of the first times you hear it is in the mini-boss fight against Greater Dog, where the way you win is to call him over, pet him, play with him, pet him some more, and then win. Yay! You did it. It's one of the most adorable parts of this game, to be honest, and that's saying something because there are a lot of them. Right, Timmy Village? Yeah, Bob knows what I'm talking about. Oh, and you also hear it during your boss fight with Sans, which, yeah, if you didn't know, is a really hard boss fight. So you get halfway through, Sans tires out, tries to appeal to the last shred of goodness you have in your heart, and kills you when you do. The game over screen appears and a sped up version of Dog Song begins melodically laughing at you as Sans tells you to get dunked on. Thanks, man. After getting over my frustration though, I had a pretty good chuckle at getting absolutely trolled, and Dog Song just made it 10 times more hilarious. Oh, and speaking of Sans, alright, now that 98% of the people that were watching have angrily X'd out of the video, let's talk about Megalovania being at not number 1. However, I'm not going to do it in a negative way. It's still a top 10 after all, and I consider this track to be the 4th best in a 100+ song soundtrack. So yeah, I really like it. This track comes about as you begin to put the final murderous touches on your genocide run. right when Sans has decided that he's dealt with enough of your shit. And chances are you didn't even get to hear the track the first time because Sans wastes no time destroying your unsuspecting ass. But eventually you do, and my goodness is it glorious. An absolute high-volume banger that rips away at your ears as you stressfully dodge every one of Sans' attacks, which more than likely results in you dying over and over and over and over again. But hey, while you fight Sans until what feels like the end of f***ing time, at least you get to rock out to one of the best boss themes in the game. Holy booty-shaking skeletons, Batman, do I love me some bone trousel. The boss fight against Papyrus, the spirited and sanguine younger brother of Sans, isn't hard by any means, but it's a lot of fun regardless. Between unsuccessful special attacks and preparing for an upcoming date, Papyrus will keep you chuckling as you weave your way through the barrage of bones he hurls at you. And all the while you get to tap your foot to this bouncy 8-bit tune. And when that half-bar drum fill transitions into the second part of the track, I'm ready to run to the kitchen and whip up a fresh batch of spaghetti with my boy Papyrus! Now that I think about it, the next time I'm in a culinary mood, I could totally see myself playing Bone Trousel on repeat as I throw in that next brick of ramen noodles into the boiling water, feeling like I'm some sort of master chef, you know? I mean, I may not be one, but this track sure makes me feel like one, damn it. This boss fight is challenging and so much fun, but the music is choice. This is a bit of a biased pick as EDM is one of my favorite genres of music, but holy hell does Death by Glamour just bring it or what? The showdown against Mettaton EX is my favorite in the entire game, as you enter into this quest for high ratings with Mettaton's final form, while you skillfully dodge some of the hardest attacks this game has thrown to you at this point. And as I said at the top of the video, music is such an important part of fully immersing you in the game you're playing, and I'd argue that this track does it better than any other. It really gives you the feeling like you and Mettaton are in front of a giant audience putting on the greatest dance-off the Underground has ever seen. And when the fight is over and you're ready to move on, it feels like you were jettisoned out of another planet back to the game's reality, if that makes sense. Like what you went through was all part of some sort of out-of-body experience or whatever. I don't know. Just agree with me, okay? But it's such a surreal feeling, and if a game or boss fight or a piece of music can pull this off, then it's definitely something I'm gonna remember. Alright, so we've made it to the final entry, but as all of you know, there are way more than just 10 tracks on Undertale that are worth some praise and admiration. So to not leave them all out, here are a few honorable mentions. I'm so happy we're finally here. When I sat down to make this list, I didn't have to think twice about this one. Hopes and Dreams is hands down my favorite boss theme music, not just in Undertale, but of all time. Holy shit, what a masterpiece. Yet another perfect example of well-written music seamlessly fusing with an incredible boss fight. I mean, you saw how it began. Asriel smirking and staring down at you, jet black background and standard attacks like any other fight. But if that vigorous string intro tells you one thing, it's that something big is on the horizon. The track then explodes into this full-out assault of guitars, percussion, and almost violent-sounding strings, while at the same time the once black background fades to white as the track ramps up, then ambushes you with this trippy display of pixelated colors as Azrael holographically hovers around ready to end your life. By the time the real fight begins, your senses are so overloaded that it's hard to focus on the constant onslaught of stars and rainbow bolts and whatever the hell else Azrael throws at you. It's also super hard to concentrate when you're headbanging to the greatest boss music of all time. Don't at me. Or do it, I don't care. I stand by it, okay? Alright everyone, thanks again so much for tuning in. I had a really fun time making this video. It's something I've on and off wanted to make for the last 4 years, and I finally did it. Yay! But yeah, jump in the comments and let me know what your favorite tracks from Undertale are. And let me know how poorly I botched the list and how much you hate me for it and how much better your list is and how cute Timmy's are. I have a couple other ideas for top 10s in the future, so if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notifications of the yearly uploads. But in all seriousness, thanks again for watching. This is Totter, and I'll see you later.